Hello everybody, and welcome to today's video. We are doing our second part of turning Gill into a sim. So this is Gill from specifically Trio Tranquility, but he's also in Animal Parade. And so this is our continuing series of turning Harvest Moon characters into Sims 4 characters. And so last week's video was my interpretation of this character in The Sims. And so this week's video is where I would think he lives in Tree of Tranquility specifically. And so here's a picture of where I think he would live. You can see on the right side of the house there's like right side of the field there's steps, and that's the steps leading up to the square, the town square, which is where he works at the town hall. And so I think this would be a perfect place for him to live because it's very close to both his dad's house and his work, because both are very important to him. He cares about this town, as I said last video, like that's his main drive and ambition is improving the town, making the town successful. And so he wants to live close to his work and close to his father, who is the mayor of the town. So this seemed like the perfect spot because it's like an empty space in the game, and there's like just a tree line behind him, so he could either like build amongst the trees or like clear out a little of the trees to build a decent sized house as far as like the game sizing of houses go, because like any house in this game I feel like could fit in this area, so I think it's the perfect place for a house. And so now what we're watching is me building a house in Newcrest. See, what I first start out doing is I put a couple trees in the background. I eventually go back and like add more trees to it. But you see on the right side is a sidewalk, and on the left side is the lake. This is in Newcrest, so it's like to the left of the lake in Newcrest where I'm building this house. And so I put trees in the background, and then I'm building the actual house. My main idea for this house is to build a house that would work in the game. So like you'll notice as I'm building, much like the Parsley house from the first video we did where we built Parsley's house, I don't put a toilet, I don't put a bathroom in the house because there's like no bathrooms in this game basically. So I just build, I decided to build it 2 stories because I want to make it like his father's house, where it's like very fancy, like it's a place where aristocratic people would live. And so I've put up this like very floralish wallpaper on the downstairs. I've put up some chandeliers, and so I'm choosing an outside paneling that I think would fit his style. I decided to make the house 2 stories because he's like the mayor's son, and so he has like a very like aristocratic and rich, wealthier style than like a lot of the characters in the game. And so I want it to look very high class, and I try my best to make it look in that same style as his father's house, but in his colors. So his colors are really like cool colors. They're like silver, dark blue, like muted like blues and whites and neutral colors. That's what all his outfits are. And so I think his house, to match his style, would also be in these colors. And so I build a little porch area. Right here I'm like choosing a door, and I build a little and I put these little fence posts surrounding the porch area. And see, then I put like a driveway, sort of, not a driveway but like a walkway from his porch. And I try to make like the stones, I do more work on it later, but like I try to make the stones look like they match the actual stones of the porch as close as I can. I never get exactly, but that's what I try to match. And then I put like this bluish not wallpaper, I put this bluish, I'm not sure what it is, siding? I put this bluish siding on his house on the bottom floor, and then I eventually put it on the top floor as well. And then I start working on the roof. And you'll notice on the roof, like, I keep it the default color because I think that like very neutral, like light gray color, it suits his style perfectly. So I felt there was like no reason to change that up. But I honestly had like I'm not the best roof builder, especially in this game, so like I struggled a bit with building a roof for this game. And then after I put the roof on and I work on the siding where, you know, the roof is, like there's little triangle sidings, I put that up. I just do some white siding, and then I began to work on the windows, because I looked at his father's house, the house he lives in the game, and then I decided that I would make something like this. And the first thing I noticed is that there's huge windows everywhere, and so I tried my best to keep the windows in the style of like a very like fancy house, but keep it like interesting. So I do big windows on like every side, but I do different windows on every side, like the two sides not facing the driveway. I do like windows with shutters on them, and then on the back I do these 3-pane windows, and then on the top, like on the balcony, I do these really long skinny windows, and then on the front, the area that sticks out, I do 4 matching windows, two big windows on the top and on the bottom so that they match. And then from there I go working on the inside. So first I do like this little entry area. Like I had put the blue carpet in front of the door, because you know they all have like these blue carpets, so that when you're walking around in the game, the camera's so weird that you like have to have that carpet there to know where to exit the game. And so I put them a carpet there, and then I start matching the furniture to that. So I put this little like sitting area right in front of the door. So it's like this little entryway sitting area, and it has like a bust on the table, and it's very like fancy high class seats. And then from there I put the little dining area in front of that, like that little sticking out area beside the porch, how that little area sticks out. I put a little sitting area there. And then I do the kitchen. The kitchen is like white. It's that same white, gray, cool colors, and I just try to make it look very like old and fancy. And then the top floor, I do a carpet that matches the rug in the bottom floor. And so the bottom floor, I was thinking sitting area, little dining area, and then a little kitchen area, because all the houses for all the bachelors, they have a little eating area, and then they have like a little dining table, and then they have their bedroom. And so for the second story, I make as soon as you walk up the stairs, I do a sitting area. And for this, I'm thinking like his job is so important to him, and he's sort of like a nerd, so I decided to pile up his table all filled with books, and then I put him a giant bookshelf there, because he spends like all of his free time doing work, basically. Like he's a workaholic in my mind. And then across from there is a bedroom area. It's all open floor plan, because like every building in this game is open floor plan. And then I put like the little baby crib in right beside the bed as well, because like all the bachelors have like a baby crib in their house. And so from there I start putting up curtains everywhere. I realized that I didn't put any curtains in Parsley's house, but too late now. Anyway, so I use like the same like little fancy tables, bedside tables, that I used in the sitting area downstairs, and then like upstairs beside the desk and beside the beds. I used the same style, but in different colors, because like they're all very like intricate, fancy sort of look to them. And so from there, from there, you saw a minute ago I put out on his little front porch, I put that little, in the game there's like a little bush thingy that you can actually trim for gardening skill. I put that out on his front deck, his balcony deck area. I put that there because in my mind, like as like a hobby, when he's not working, when he's not doing overtime research stuff for his job, I imagine that he sometimes likes to do some gardening. And so he has that little skill bush there on his balcony. And then for like for accent decorative bushes, I decided that he has like the bushes, like very well trimmed bushes around his whole house. And so you can see me installing those. I like first started with the smaller, squarer ones, but then I'd put the bigger, bushier ones, so that at the end you see right beside the entryway into his house, I'd put actual like little rose bushes. So the rose bushes, I wanted the rose bushes to match with his, not only his color scheme, but like the actual shapes of the bushes that are surrounding his house. And so then I've put his mailbox. I scooted around a little more for later on, but so his two little flower bushes right beside his house are the same light blue that the rest of his house is. So it's like it's still going on his color scheme. And after that, I add these two like really circular bush trees. Like these are trees that are supposed to look like trimmed. In the actual game, they're just decorative. You can't do anything with them, but they're out in front. And so these are like, after he's moved in and stuff, he's planted these two trees specifically because he's planted these two trees specifically because they're like his decorative bushes that he keeps up. Cause like he's more of like a fancy boy, but I imagine this is a small town. It's very rural, and so he still does have an appreciation for nature. And last but not least, I just add more trees into the background, just try to make it look nicer. Now we're going on to the final shots. The first shot is the front entryway. You can see a little globe on the side, and then you can see his like front sitting area with his like antique furniture, his little nice little chairs, and his little bust in his sitting area. Very fancy. And then the next shot is like the kitchen area. We've got like the copper accents metals, but it's mostly like those cool neutrals. And then this front, the upstairs, I've got like a mirror beside his balcony door, because that was part of his character as well. Like he likes to look nice. And so this is just a shot of the upstairs. And then here's a full shot of the entire house. He's got his little fancy trees, and then he's got his little bushes beside, like on either side of his walkway, and then the bushes surrounding the house, and then the wild trees up behind his house that are like actually in the game already. And so thank you for watching. That's the end of this week's video. Next we are doing, who are we doing?
When and Owen?
Yes, we're going to do Owen's video next because that was Heather's choice. And so it's going to be Owen from Tree of Tranquility. And we're just going to like do some research and figure out what we're going to do for him. But thank you for watching. Subscribe if you liked this video. Feel free to comment and like this video and all that stuff. And that's it.